Stress and burnout have become one of the most common problems of today's workers. However, something we can do ourselves. Therefore, how to reduce stress and start to have more fun. Why modern work is causing dissatisfaction. Perhaps we are wrong asking ourselves why we work, while we need to focus on how we work. It's hard to come up with something more boring and annoying than the workplace of the early epoxy century. Endless meetings, where they begin to forget their own name, the same chain of emails and the constant buzz of open space. Distraction is not the only problem of the modern workplace. British Mental Health Foundation says that 74% of Britons have experienced great stress at least once during the year, and the most frequent cause of stress was work. According to some estimates, workers who need to stay connected with their colleagues, weekly, real and virtual, are in the office over 70 hours. That's why, inspired by a motivational speech as the speech of the TED speaker and author of the hugely popular book, Start With Why, Simon Sinek, increasingly do not resonate with those who spends half his life in the workplace. Workers of any age often think, why I work in a prestigious company with a clear and noble goals, but I feel unhappy. Focusing on high-end, perhaps, creates an attractive image of the head of a warrior, but tired and demotivating the inhabitants of the office, it is unlikely to help. And perhaps the time has come to change the adrenaline, the bravado, why I work, prosaic, as is, id est, how do I get more pleasure from what I do, and at the same time to reduce the stress. But how to improve the work culture? We can hardly expect the appearance of the new Steve Jobs that will transform our routine working day in brilliant fireworks of inspiration and creativity. But many things we can do ourselves. One of the most depressing things of the daily work for most employees are meeting. The decrease in the number of attendees in half can be an incredible act of mercy. Investment bankers in the company Bridgewater Associates realized that the fewer people involved in the discussion, the more productive it is usually. However, you may feel that the best meetings, those to which you came. To get rid of this feeling, the company began to record meetings. As a result of staff who was not invited to the meeting, he stopped complaining. There are other things. Research, for example, confirmed that 3 or 4 full lunch break every week improve the ability to make decisions and reduce fatigue at the end of the week. A huge benefit of walking may be an argument for the replacement of seating for meetings, trips during which problem solving can become much more productive. So, a researcher from the University of Staffordshire Marlborough found that walking improved creative thinking in 81% of the participants of the experiment. Although the idea of another meeting within a week may sound like a mockery, informal meetings with colleagues are becoming more popular, replacing the former tradition of British firms to complete the working day in the local pub. Margaret Heffernan, which has 5 times held the post of Director General, said that the introduction of a weekly informal meeting for staff in one of its American companies has radically changed the atmosphere in the office. Modern workers suffer from diseases flogged, which is the result of constant time pressure and the pressure of the increasingly stringent requirements of the employer. The consequences of burnout can be very serious, especially for younger employees. Obviously, in such ruthless conditions of high goal becomes less important, and in the foreground there is the question of how to make the working day a regular employee less unbearable.